Remember the sound? That unique, heavy thud of leather meeting in step with devastating, singular purpose. A sound that became the heartbeat of North London for a decade. Remember the sight? That familiar, almost methodical shuffle, back to goal, defender at his shoulder, before the sudden graceful pivot that bent the physics of a game to his will. And remember the feeling? That unshakable certainty, in a moment of chaos, that he would be the calm, that he would find the one right answer in a sea of pressure. For a generation, Harry Kane wasn't just a striker, he was a total footballing ecosystem. A one-man tactical universe, engineered not in a flash of rebellion, but through the relentless refinement of the orthodox. While the modern game celebrated the flamboyant rebel and the system-breaking genius, Kane achieved something more revolutionary and more perplexing. He became the system. This is the story of football's ultimate paradox, the story of the Tottenham human shield. His was not an origin story of precocious viral fame. It was a slow, deliberate forging in the fires of perceived inadequacy. Born in Walthamstow, in the shadow of White Hart Lane's distant glow, Harry Kane's early reality was a carousel of lone spells: Leyton Orient, Millwall, Norwich, Leicester. The labels followed him like a shadow, not quick enough, lacks the explosive dynamism, a traditional number 9, a relic, trying to survive in a football world that was sprinting toward a new, sleek prototype of forward. But here is where the experiment began. While others would have contorted themselves to fit the fashionable mold, Kane underwent a silent, seismic evolution. He wasn't merely training to be a better goalscorer, he was conducting a private R&D project on himself. The pitch was his laboratory. His formative gift, you see, was not blistering pace. It was a preternatural, almost cold-blooded understanding of space and geometry, and a passing range, a vision that was being forged not on pristine training grounds, but in the brutal, unforgiving chaos of the championship. It was there he learned to survive, to think, to create from nothing. Long before the loan spells, Kane's earliest footballing education came on the parks and pitches of North London. At Ridgeway Rovers, his first club, coaches recall a boy obsessed with improvement, staying behind after training to practice, finishing from every angle. He was never the fastest, but he was always the most determined, studying older players, asking questions, and absorbing tactical details that most kids ignored. Even as a child, Kane's mindset was different. He was cut from the cloth of the self-made. When he was released by Arsenal at age 8 for being too small, he didn't sulk, he doubled down. He returned to Tottenham's academy with a chip on his shoulder, determined to prove every doubter wrong. Coaches at Spurs remember his willingness to play multiple positions, learning the nuances of midfield and defense, which would later inform his unique style as a forward. The tactical influences came early. Watching Teddy Sheringham, Kane admired the art of dropping deep and linking play. He studied the movement of Dimitar Berbatov, the work rate of Alan Shearer, but it was his own analytical approach, reviewing his performances, seeking feedback and visualizing scenarios that set him apart. Every setback, every missed chance, became fuel for his relentless self-improvement. The journey was never smooth. Growth spurts left him awkward and overlooked. He was often benched, told he wasn't ready. But Kane's response was always the same: work harder, think smarter, and find new ways to impact the game. By the time he broke into the first team, he had already built a mental resilience and tactical intelligence that would become his trademark. The first crack in the old blueprint appeared not under the bright lights of the Premier League, but in the Thursday night glare of the Europa League in 2014. Thrown on by Tim Sherwood, a manager who valued grit over grand designs, Kane scored. Then he started, and he kept scoring. But to the watching, analytical eye, something far more significant was occurring. He wasn't just lurking in the 6-yard box, he was dropping deep into the midfield battleground. He was collecting the ball here with his back to the future and influencing the game from a place no pure striker dared to go. The academy product had returned, but he was an unrecognizable upgrade. Tottenham didn't just have a goal scorer back, they had a question mark in football boots, a prototype they didn't yet know how to fully utilize. Then the architect arrived, Mauricio Pochettino, a manager whose entire philosophy was a symphony of relentless energy, suffocating pressure, and intricate tactical structure. And in this industrious hybrid forward, Pochettino didn't just see a finisher. He saw the ultimate tactical fulcrum, the keystone, the one player who could make his entire high-pressing, possession-intensive machine not just function, but sing. Pochettino recognized Kane's unique dual-core processor-controlled destruction. He could be the final ruthless ball and the first intelligent pass of a devastating transition. The system didn't just accommodate Harry Kane, it was fundamentally redesigned, rewired to channel its entire creative current through him. He was the central server. The great validation test arrived with the 2015-16 season. The impossible title charge. Kane, now the undisputed focal point, plundered 25 league goals. But the story wasn't in the tally, it was in the tapestry. Watch Son Heung-min's electrifying runs in behind. Watch Dele Alli's ghosting late bursts into the box. These were not random acts. They were calculated movements predicated on one non-negotiable trigger. Harry Kane dragging bewildered centre-backs into the midfield's no-man's land. He was the human shield, absorbing the brunt of defensive pressure, occupying two minds at once, and in doing so, creating vast verdant space for his brethren to thrive. He sacrificed his own statistical dominance at times for the systemic good. The experiment was working, the shield was holding, and the army was advancing behind it. Pundits scrambled to define him. Jamie Carragher on Sky Sports captured the shifting perception. He's not just a goal scorer anymore, he's a playmaker. But nestled within this triumphant ascent was the seed of a future dilemma. Little did the architects know, this beautiful total dependency, this act of building an entire club's modern identity around the hybrid genius of one man, would forge an inescapable golden paradox. You can construct a magnificent castle around a king, fortify its every wall in his image, but what happens when the king's destiny demands he conquer lands beyond the castle walls? The very thing that made him powerful could become the boundary of his world.
The moment the world's tactical blueprint was permanently altered came not in lily white, but in the tricolour of England. Russia, 2018. The captain's armband snug on his bicep. The last-minute nerve-shredding penalty against Colombia struck with icy veins. The ruthless, curling free kick against Tunisia. Harry Kane claimed the World Cup Golden Boot not as a classic penalty box poacher, but as the ultimate system leader for Gareth Southgate's pragmatic young England. He was the outlet, the leader, the talisman. He was no longer a Tottenham-specific phenomenon. He was now the global blueprint for the modern, complete centre-forward. Yet, his defining masterpiece in North London is not a goal, it is a pass. The 2020 to 2021 season under Jose Mourinho. The pragmatist met the prototype and in a stroke of cynical genius, sharpened the weapon to its most lethal point. Mourinho looked at Kane's passing radar and saw a quarterback's arm. He unleashed it. Kane became the Premier League's most potent playmaker, topping the assists chart while still challenging for the Golden Boot. The assist for Son's goal against Burnley, a 60-yard diagonal bomb that sliced through the sky and landed on a postage stamp, was the thesis statement. He had weaponized predictability. Defenders knew he wanted to find Son. They knew he would drop deep. They were intellectually aware, yet physically and tactically powerless. This was the experiment at its sublime, frustrating peak. One man, executing two world-class roles not with flamboyance, but with the machined, relentless perfection of a Swiss watch. The system was now a single, brilliant, overloaded circuit, and he was the current. The ultimate respect came from his fiercest rival. Pep Guardiola, the philosopher king who had tried and failed to buy him for Manchester City, conceded with awe. Harry Kane is there, every season, with 25 to 30 goals. He is a machine. The awards piled up. 3 Premier League Golden Boots. The all-time scoring records for both Tottenham Hotspur and the England national team. Monuments built goal by relentless goal. But the true coronation was intangible. He was christened one of our own, a mantra, a covenant. In an era of mercenary careers and fleeting loyalties, he became the granite symbol of constancy. He was their shield, and they were his fortress. Yet beneath the mountain of statistical glory, the fatal flaw in the grand experiment began to cast a long, chilling shadow. The system was perfectly, exquisitely built for Harry Kane. But was it built to win the ultimate prizes? His very completeness, his very indispensability, created a rigidity. The tactical plan, in its most critical moments, often distilled into a simple, hope-filled prayer. Get it to Harry. Remove the human shield, and the army seemed unsure, exposed. And as the seasons turned, the one element the engineers could not fabricate remained absent. The trophies. The tangible, gleaming affirmations of greatness. The cabinet remained obstinately, painfully bare. The weight of that emptiness grew with every record broken, a paradoxical gravity. The turning point, the moment the trajectory peaked and began its slow, inevitable arc, was a night in Madrid. The 2021 Champions League final, the pinnacle of the club game. They were there, he was there, and they fell short. The cruel, piercing irony was that Kane's greatest strengths, his supreme professionalism, his unwavering loyalty, the very pillars of his myth, became anchors in the years that followed. The club's sporting project, its ambition, failed to match the relentless upward climb of his own career curve. A dissonance grew between the man and the institution he embodied. The final chapters at Tottenham were a study in frantic, futile reinvention under Conte, Stellini and Mason. Each new manager arrived with a new manifesto, but every solution, every tactical reboot, inevitably circled back to the same inescapable logic. Everything must flow through Kane. The system player had become the system, and the system, for all its points and records, was stuck in a loop. The final, poetic, tragic twist was the day he became Tottenham's all-time record goal scorer. It came in a 1-0 loss, a personal monument of astonishing longevity and excellence cemented in the hard concrete of collective frustration. The boy who had dreamed of glory had instead become a living, breathing monument to almost. Once the symbol of a limitless, shimmering future, he now represented its agonizing, tangible ceiling. The shield had held for so long, but the fortress it protected could not expand to contain his destiny. And so, the great experiment entered its next phase. The laboratory changed. From North London to Munich. The Bundesliga, a new petri dish. And in his very first game for Bayern, the pattern reasserted itself immediately. An assist. The system, a different one, began to adapt itself to the familiar, reliable shape of the shield. But the haunting, unanswered question of his career now follows him to Germany. Can a legacy built on a decade of perfected, specific symbiosis be successfully transplanted? Can the data from one magnificent, trophyless experiment provide the code to win everything elsewhere? Years from now, when the football historians analyze the era of the hyper-complete, all-consuming forward, they will begin with Harry Kane. He came, he saw, he redefined. His mission was not merely to hoard silverware, but to prove, with every measured pass and thunderous finish, that one man's unwavering engineered excellence could become the very soul, the identity, of a club. He asked us to consider whether legacy is measured in metal and polish, or in something deeper, in the indelible imprint left on a place, and in the hearts of its people. In the Vault, we examine these beautiful, complex equations. And while Harry Kane's story forces us to wrestle with the price of loyalty and the weight of almost, it makes the pure, untethered joy of a Mesut Ozil shine all the brighter. To unlock the story of the man who played football as a celebration, the ever-smiling magician, the video is on screen now. If you found this breakdown compelling, subscribe to The Vault. Hit the bell. We are just getting started, and there are countless more secrets to unlock.